him and Vasquez. So
No, I think Leon calls a better. Well, obviously Leon calls a better game with his staff ERA, but I think he's a better blocking catcher. I think Vasquez has his better arm, but if you're keeping it in front of you and guys aren't going to move because they know how quickly you can get to the ball in your pop time, then they're not gonna run anyway.
right. The Yankees have the same exact number of wins as we do, but we have four more losses than they do because we've got more games in against them. And that's going to be out of whack in terms of number of games until, I guess, September 16th. That's when we finally have the same number of games, assuming there's no makeup games that, are currently unforeseen.
Yeah.
And that's a little concerning because it says we're 2 games behind them, but I mean, that could easily be 4 games behind them if we're slumping and they're hot. And then if you take into consideration the fact that we're playing them at the end of the month, we could be 6, 7, 8 games behind them. And we're getting to the point now where all the diehard Cora huggers out there that are saying, "Oh, it's a grind, not a sprint or whatever." Well, that theory is about done with now because we're about to have to go into dogfight mode in the last 81 games, and every game is crucial. Every win is crucial here, and as I was saying earlier, we're not going to make the splash that the Yankees are going to make. I have this sneaky suspicion they're going to get Machado. And even if I'm wrong right now, Clint Frazier's hitting 368 with a nearly 500 OBP. That'll come down a little bit, but he hasn't been rushed through the system. He's been sitting down there. He's basically, in his few call-ups, been putting on that Yankees uniform knowing that he has no future with that team because he's the number one trade chip they have. So maybe they get Machado, maybe they ride it out with Frazier. I don't know, but their lineup, they have seven guys in today's lineup have an OPS of 812 or higher, and some of them are in the 9s as well. So we're going to get killed by their lineup, and then our bullpen isn't as good either, and I don't think it's going to be as good, even if Thornburg comes back and pitches like he did in 2014. And what this all comes down to is Alex Cora is going to have to manage his team a lot like Terry Francona did. And look at what Francona did in the World Series there, or that whole playoff run. Aside from the fact that we know we're not going to have Joe Kelly pitching 3 innings per game, to get to the closer like Miller was in the playoffs there, Francona found a way to get the most out of his players, and he did some really outside-the-box things, wasn't afraid to juggle things, and he outmanaged the shit out of Joe Madden. That's what we need from Alex Cora because we're undergunned. We're just undergunned, and we're not gonna be better offensively. So we're gonna have to, number one, try to limit our mistakes and put our players in the best possible position and have an open mind while doing it because adjustments need to be made, especially over the course of the next 80, 85 games, however many are left. That's the only way we're going to have a shot at winning this division because if not, it's the wild card. And I don't know that Alex Cora is that kind of a manager.
Well, I think first off with the whole, we could be down 8 games July 1st. We absolutely could be. But at the same token to that, we could be down 1 or even up 1. So I think when it comes to that, about how aggressive we have to be, either trade deadline or moving things around, we have to wait until July 1st, the night of July 1st. The reason for that is we play the Yankees 3 more times at the end of this month, and we also have the Angels in Seattle. If we go on a 7-3 run, 8-2 run, sweep the Yankees, take 2 out of 3 against the Yankees, then all of a sudden we're looking great, And the Yankees, the one is saying, well, we pissed away our games in hand. We got our asses kicked again by the Sox like we did earlier this year, and our pitching luck is running out. Because, let's face it, their pitching luck is what's keeping them in the games right now. Obviously, they have their big OPS because they have guys hitting bombs at Yankee Stadium all day. But CC Sabathia is pitching well above his level. Tanaka, before he got hurt, had a high ERA, but he was like 7-2. You have these young guys coming up, pitching 5 1/3, 6 even, giving up 3 runs, but then they're getting picked up by the slack with the home runs because the Yankees have played a good amount of home games recently. So you have that all in a mix. So the Yankees are also playing very high right now as well with their pitching as we're playing low with our hitting. So we'll see if that evens out when it comes July 1st where we are. If we are 7, 8, 6, 9 games back out of the Yankees and we get swept or lose 2 out of 3 embarrassingly to the Yankees, things need to be changed. First, it comes with Dave Dombrowski over Alex Cora, because Alex Cora can't do anything if his bench options aren't there and he has no one else there. If Dombrowski gives him people, if Thornburg comes back healthier, if he makes a trade for a guy like Starlin Castro or just another serviceable player out there, and you can platoon Holt. You can say, okay, you know what, Benintendi's going in center today, Holt's going left, JBJ, you're sitting the bench, and now we need a pinch runner, so JBJ's coming in for JD Martinez. He's going to steal second, and Castro's going to come in on, where Nunez normally would be. He's going to hit a single. JBJ is going to come around and score, and all of a sudden, now we're cooking with fire. Cora's looking good. He's playing quickly. He's thinking on his feet. He's thinking outside the box like Francona. When it comes to Francona and the year of the World Series, just like the Red Sox started this year, we started out 17-2, I believe. After that, we played 500 ball for a while. Cleveland was a 500 team, won 15 in a row, and returned to a 500 team before making the playoffs, basically. Francona only got adventurous once the playoffs hit. I think Alex Cora is that type of manager, that he will come around and do different things. He saw Houston do it as Verlander came out of the pen last year against us, and he saw some lineup changes and shuffling and moving guys around, big-time hits from their big-time players. And Cora was the bench manager there, so he saw it all, and I'm sure he was putting his 2 cents in as well when it came to, what they should do. That's what the bench manager does. I mean, Lovello helped, Farrell so much, and you saw how much it struggled when Lovello left. And, I think when it comes down to October, you can see we don't have Andrew Miller, and Joe Kelly's not going to be that guy, but if we run Sale, Price, Porcello in any order, you have Erod and Steven Wright in the pen. There's no reason why Sale can't go 5 innings, Erod for 3, and then Kimbrel comes in, and then all of a sudden you can get another day out of Sale. Or vice versa for Porcello. If Porcello goes 6 and Wright goes 2, Kimbrel's coming in for the 9th. So it can be done, and we just have to see if he will do that. I think he is, with his players, enough in the mindset and a player's manager that he will do things like that and move guys around. And I think he will get the guys comfortable doing that. And you have guys that have done it in the past, like David Price, although right now he's pitched his way into the starting rotation. So I think we have to see where it goes. But I think it starts with Dombrowski, and it starts with what Cora and this team can do the next 2 weeks, 10 days, whatever it is.
Well, we haven't seen it yet from Cora. We haven't really seen flashes of it. We've seen, like I said, when Mookie was out, we saw some different lineups. But now that he's back, it's other than maybe Xander being a little higher for a couple of games, there really hasn't been any difference. And now he's back in the 5-hole anyway. So we just haven't seen it. And what I'm saying is we have to see that. Like, he's gonna have to be smarter than Aaron Boone, and I don't know if he's gonna be smarter than AJ Hinch, but he's gonna be smarter than all the guys in the division and all the other critical teams we still have to play over the final 3 months. And I don't know. And when you look at Francona in that postseason, he had his ace, Kluber, who I think won the Cy Young that year. And then he had Trevor Bauer, who was absolute garbage at that point, just grossly inconsistent. Like Clay Buchholz on an average April or May, basically, was what Bauer was like. And then Josh Tomlin is a bullpen guy at best, or a spot starter. And I mean, we thought we were going to beat them. We were praying that we could play the Indians because they were so busted. And,
I thought we were people.
And then next thing we know, they're playing Game 7 of the World Series. So I don't think any other manager could have pulled that off. I mean, Joe Madden going into that, people might have said he's the best manager in Major League Baseball. And I think Terry Francona proved he was.
Yeah, Francona.
But for him to make Madden look stupid like that, if we're going to be, our offense is not going to be as good as New York's. It's just not. I mean, they have Gleyber Torres and Greg Bird in the bottom third of their lineup. That's insane. And I think Torres is going to find his way higher, obviously, but it's just an absolutely filthy lineup, and we're just not going to be that good. So we're going to have to be smart, and that's what I want to see. I'm not going to be posting any fire Cora hashtags all the way up until after the season. I'm just not going to do it. But I'm not convinced that he was the right guy. And believe me, I've tried to be open-minded. I really have, and I'm still trying to like him. You know, he manages the bullpen very well, I feel like. That Robbie Scott thing was kind of weird. It's almost like that was the day where all the Brad Hand stuff got hot and heavy because I guess Devers was brought up. I don't know if it was actually brought up between the GMs, but that's what the rumors were. And so it's almost like Cora or Dombrowski wanted the Red Sox to prove that we could send a lefty out there and get the job done, and we don't need those other teams' lefties. And it was a dumpster fire, that whole inning. How many runs did we give up?
No, we gave up 4 in that inning.
4, yeah. It took the game out of reach anyway.
Yeah, that was his first mistake in a long time with Cora when it came to mismanaging the team in any way.
Yeah, so, I'm not even going to hold that against him, actually, because he just wanted to see what he had, and he wanted to see what the kid would look like under pressure.
That's going to happen, and it's not a huge deal.
Right, but yeah, so I'm trying to like him, and I like how he manages the bullpen because that was my biggest complaint with Farrell. But there are other things I think that Farrell might have done a little bit better, with the way he juggled certain things. And Cora's obviously better behind the scenes because he's had a couple major controversies this year, with the Fortnite thing, and there was one other big one. But
yeah, he DFA'd Hanley Ramirez.
Yeah, and I want to say there was even one more before that. But so he got through those pretty well. So that's all encouraging, but I want to see what his baseball mind is like, and we just haven't seen that yet. And you mentioned Dombrowski, and it's fair. I mean, he needs to find some solutions out there to make this team a little bit better, and we're not expecting Manny Machado or anyone of epic proportions to walk in here and have like the JD Martinez effect that he had on Arizona last year. We know we're not getting that, but we need some serviceable bats in the bottom of that lineup. And I'm done with JBJ. I don't care what he does. He can bedazzle me with all these defensive gems, and I'm willing to sacrifice a little bit of defense, and I don't even know if we're going to be doing that with Benintendi in center, and whoever we acquire in left field. So, and then maybe even a second baseman. The language on Pedroia is starting to sound ominous. Even Jerry Remy in the booth the other night was like, "Yeah, I don't even know if it's going to be this year," And the longer he talked about it, the worse it sounded. And I guess this morning he saw Pedroia in the lobby, and I guess Pedroia was kind of singing a different tune, but I just think that's all a smoke show right now. I think Pedroia is hearing the speculation that maybe he doesn't play this year, or maybe it's not going to be until September, and he's just trying to quiet things down. But Dombrowski does have to you know, find some help out there.